Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Pontiac Silverdome, home of the Detroit Lions. As they're being introduced, the Lions are 2-0. They're taking on the 2-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers in an NFC Central divisional showdown. Hello, everybody. I'm Ray Bentley, along with Ron Pitts. And Ronnie, you don't usually see this big a game this early in the season, and then throw on top of that, Tampa Bay struggled up here. They've lost 6 of the last 7.
Well, Ray, what's happened is that every time they come up here, they have trouble with one main thing, and that's stopping the run game. For some reason, the Lions get it going on them. And you look at the numbers. Greg Hill did it to them last year. Then, of course, Barry Sanders has gouged them. The key for them is to be good in the defensive triangle. I'm talking about Warren Sapp, McFarland, Jamie Duncan at the middle linebacker, and they got to get great pursuit to the football. If they want to be the dominating defense, they have to stop the run and stop it early, as good as they are.
Detroit 2-0, but amazingly, they haven't scored an offensive touchdown yet, but they think they're close.
They think they're very close. The last week against the Washington Redskins, they ran the ball very effectively in the second half. The trap play straight ahead, north and south, was huge. This is what Bobby Ross believes. James Stewart is the guy that the Bucs are going to have to stop. He's big, he's strong, coming in from Jacksonville in free agency. He's a confidence guy. If he gets started early, has a couple good runs, he could make you pay later on. These two teams have something to prove in this game. Detroit wants to prove, hey, 2-0 is no fluke. We deserve to be. They got Charlie Batch back. We think we're ready to go. And the Bucs want to prove that, hey, we can come up here in an environment that's very hostile, that we haven't done well, and get a win and play very good. A big step on the road for them to the Super Bowl.
Defense has carried the day for both of these teams. The crowd is ready. We're ready. Opening kickoff is coming up next.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Ah, yeah.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
We're in Pontiac, Michigan, the Pontiac Silverdome, home of the Detroit Lions. They take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Coach Tony Dungy, in his 5th year with Tampa Bay, done real well against everybody but the Lions, taking the 2-6 career record into this house. Bobby Ross, his 4th year with Detroit, getting close to that 500 mark. We talked in the open, Ron Pitts, about the running game and the defenses and those things, but really special teams are really something that's going to be big in this game, and Detroit has shown better so far than Tampa Bay has.
Well, actually, special teams has really saved the Detroit Lions, because, you know, week 1 it was Desmond Howard's big return in New Orleans, and then last week, of course, it was Jason Hanson's field goals that were the only points for the Detroit Lions.
We'll get a look at Desmond Howard right off the bat as the Lions won the toss. They have elected to receive. Martin Gramatica set to kick off for Tampa Bay. Both teams 2-0. It's an early season Central Division showdown. And we're underway. Howard from a yard deep. Howard with a hole. He's got a chance.
Barber's going to get him.
Rondé Barber runs him down. A huge return. No flags.
And this is exactly the kind of stuff that happens to the Buccaneers when they come here. Big plays early, this time in the form of special teams, and they get the crowd pumped. And one of the things that Desmond Howard does so well is he goes into the hole under control on his returns. Great blocking helps. Gramatica with the slide kick there, is that what I saw?
It was a pretty weak attempt at a tackle.
He made a nice tackle last week, but look at the field position you're going to give the Lions and Charlie Batch.
The Lions start out 1st and 10 at the Buccaneers 38. Batch to the air. Hooks up with Jermaine Crowell on 1st down. Abraham pushes him out of bounds, a gain of 4. And let's take a look at this Detroit Lions offense. Hey, we have told you, has failed to score a touchdown yet here in the season. But Charlie Batch has done well against the Buccaneers. Up front, Roberts, Atkins getting the start today. Compton, Hardings, and Gibson. In the backfield, James Stewart, Schlesinger, Jermaine Crowell, and Johnny Morton are the receivers. David Sloan, the tight end, bothered by a toe problem. And we'll see a lot of Herman Moore in the 3 receiver sets as well.
Well, a lot of talking on both sides of the ball. The Buccaneers were getting adjusted, and looks like Crowell were lined up on the wrong side.
Batch to throw again. Throws it outside. He's got David Sloan. Sloan up near the 20-yard line. Gain of 14 on that play, and the Lions come out firing.
Yeah, how about that? Just when you think you got things worked out in the NFL, the whole talk all week was run game. So the Lions throw the dice out there, and they start to throw. And the reason they start to throw is that they know the Bucs are going to try to show an 8-man front. And if you're in an 8-man front, that's going to mean man-to-man on the outside.
So after the catch, Sloan checks out. Walter Rasby in at tight end. He'll flop to the other side. 1st and 10 from the 21.
There's that 8-man front we're talking about. John Lynch standing on the line.
Lynch comes. Stewart runs into Lynch in the backfield, carries him for a yard gain. Take a look at that Tampa Bay defense. Number 2 in the NFL, tied for 1st in sacks. Jones, Warren Sapp, Anthony McFarland, and Chidi Ahanatu on the line. Quarles and Brooks, the outside linebackers. Jamie Duncan filling in for Harding Nickerson, who left for Jacksonville. Barber and Abraham, what a week they had last week in the win over the Bears. Damian Robinson and John Lynch are the safeties. 2 tight ends in the game for Detroit. Play action, backs. Dumps it into Sloan, dropped. And that was Marcus Jones dropping out and making a defensive play in the secondary. A zone drop by a lineman.
Hey, this is great. Nice little cat and mouse game going on here between the coordinators. Sylvester Croom, the Lions offensive coordinator, and Monty Kiffin, the Bucs defensive coordinator. Monty's got to decide now, does he want to use that 8-man right now? I think they're kind of in limbo. He's not sure if he's going to see pass or run. Lions came out of the box and showed pass. I don't think they were expecting that.
Herman Moore in the game for the first time at the top of your screen.
Blitz.
He throws it away. Pressure coming from Brian Kelly.
And the thing the Bucs did last week, as we look at Monty Kiffin, the defensive coordinator, was they brought the heat at the right times, and they did it again. In the red area, threat of a score. Brian Kelly's going to be right here, and he's going to come. Right inside. He comes off the corner. They bring the corner and the linebacker, and he doesn't get the sack, but he hurries the throw. The most important part of the blitz is to make the ball come out sooner than a quarterback wants to get rid of it.
Jason Hansen, perfect on the year, 7 for 7, attempting a 38-yarder.
I think Lynch got a little of that and still went through.
Jason Hansen hits his 34th straight field goal from inside 40 yards, and the Lions draw first blood. They're up 3-0 here at the Silverdome.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl.
Another good start by the Detroit Lions, something that Tampa Bay has guarded against, was worried about here, but at least they held them just a field goal.
Yeah, but I think the Lions do exactly what they want to do. They go down, have a big play right off the bat, get everybody going, get the crowd going, and they put points on the board.
Aaron Stecker back to receive the Jason Hansen kickoff. Stecker brought it out from 8 yards deep last week. He learned his lesson. He'll stay in 3 yards deep. It'll be a touchback. And the Buccaneers will take offense. An offense that put up 34 of their 41 points last week, led by Sean King. 6-1 record as a starter. Doesn't get much better than that. Up front, Pete Pearson, Randall McDaniel, Jeff Christie, Frank Middleton, and Jerry Wunsch. Very good on the right side. Warwick Dunn and Mike Allstott in the backfield. Keyshawn Johnson, Jaquez Green, the 2 receivers, and Dave Moore gets the call at tight end. Allstott on a cutback. He'll get 5 on first down. Stephen Boyd makes a defensive play. The Lions defense allowing just 10 points per game. Ranked 10th in the NFL in yardage allowed. Led up front, Tracy Scroggins, Luther Ellis, James Jones, and 2-time Pro Bowler Robert Porcher. The linebackers Alan Aldridge and Chris Claiborne on the outside. Stephen Boyd with a bad back. Almost didn't play this week. Fairs, Schultz, Rice, and Westbrook in the secondary. Second down, King throws it out to Keyshawn Johnson. He has the first down. Keyshawn Johnson, every time he catches the ball this year, first down, it's 7 for 7.
I laugh when I hear people say, well, you know, when is Keyshawn going to get into the offense, and is he going to get upset because he doesn't have all the catches and all the attention? Let me tell you something. Keyshawn is moving the chains. All right, that is what you call an impact guy. He's moving the chains. That play right there is a perfect example of it.
Patrick Hape in the backfield with all stop. Play action. King throws it outside, complete to Jaquez Green. Westbrook runs him out.
You know, Tony Dungy talked last night about how this game would be a defining game for the Bucs. And what he meant was to come up here away from home in a hostile environment they haven't done very well, and to get the win. He feels that his team needs that, to take that next step, to prove it to themselves that, hey, we're ready to play anywhere with anybody.
2 tight ends in on 2nd and 5. All stop. Cut back again, but this time he runs into Luther Ellis. Stopped 2 yards short of the first down.
We talked about that Bucs defense and Warren Sapp inside and Derek Brooks and all the liking and the speed and everything. But this defense here, they're a lot like the Bucs defense. They've got a pretty good front four in Porche and Ellis and Jones and Scroggins. And they've also got a fair amount of speed inside.
3rd and 2. The Lions bring in the nickel defense. Bucs counter with 3 wide receivers. King from the gun throws it outside, and it's complete for a first down to Warwick Dunn. Westbrook makes a tackle 9 yards on the play.
Excuse me, Ray. That's just a nice job of spreading out the Lions. They got a mismatch problem there. Lions didn't match up very well. And you get Warwick Dunn in space. I've always said this. Warwick Dunn is as hard to tackle as Barry Sanders was in open space. There's not too many people that are going to bring him down one-on-one. That's just a pitch and catch.
He's like trying to catch a chicken in the barnyard. You're going to go hungry.
Or the old step on the ice cube deal. If you look at Les Steckel, the offensive coordinator.
1st and 10. King throws it incomplete. Or is it intercepted? No, it's not caught. Ron Rice thought he had one. The ball hit the turf. They were looking for Dave Moore.
Wow, that's a close one there. You know, they changed the rules on this year, or made an amendment to it. The ball hits the ground. I think it clearly hit the ground there.
That ball was on Dave Moore before he knew what was happening. See Bobby Ross. Calm, cool, and collected. Bobby Ross on the sidelines. For now. 2nd and 10. Draw. Done. He is done. Stephen Boyd with the tackle right now. Let's go to Los Angeles for JB in a game break.
Ray and Ron, take a look at this. Kurt Warner looking for the home run ball, picked off by Winford Tubbs of San Francisco. He brings it back. Great field position, and look at what San Francisco does to capitalize. Look at young Jeff Garcia. Fakes right, comes back left. Who does he hook up with? Running back Fred Beasley, who beats the linebacker Todd Collins. 7-3, 49ers over the Rams. Back to Ray and Ron.
I think the San Francisco 49ers are trying to bring back that same old Rams mentality.
Use their own things against them. 3rd and 10. Overthrown, incomplete. Looking for Riddell Anthony, and King has been high on his last 2 throws, and the Bucs will have to punt.
And they got a little drama there on the field. That's Frank Middleton. We talked to Frank last night. Frank said he likes to talk and mix it up.
Yeah, he said he likes to talk to not the guy across from him, but the guy across from the other guys to get everybody else into the picture, into the mix. Frank was a character. He said he's not out here to make friends or find fishing buddies. As Royals punts it, Howard lets it bounce.
Wow, what a play.
Brian Kelly.
What a play.
Saves it at the 2-yard line. That's where Detroit will have it when we come back. A 49-yard punt for Mark Royals. Lions have had problems at that left guard position. Stocker McDougal, the #1 pick, started out there in preseason. He was injured, so Tony Semple stepped in, was the starter the first 2 weeks. He was hurt last week, so Curlin Blaze took his spot in there. He was injured last week, so this week the 4th man in line, James Atkins, is today's starter.
Yeah, and Atkins has his work cut out because he's got to go up against that man right there, and we all know who that is. That's Warren Sapp. And that is one heavy task to take care of. Your opening shot here going on the field.
Bobby Ross, speaking about Atkins, says he's very good in the pass game. We'll have to find out in that run game. Batch from his 3, hands it to Stewart. Stewart spins, finds room, hit by Lynch. He gets up to the 10-yard line.
A nice little game there. You saw Charlie Batch fake audible there. John Lynch walked up. He showed the 8 men in the box. Now that's something you would check to a pass. He saw Lynch walk out, and you know what? He ran the ball anyway. And we talked about James Stewart running right down the middle of the field. That's where the Bucs are going to have to be solid.
2nd and 3 after the gain of 7. Stewart, another hold. This closes quickly as Jamie Duncan, the middle linebacker, stops him after a gain of 1.
Hey, Ray, here's what I'm talking about with the cat and mouse game with the safeties. Herman Edwards, the defensive back coach, he's taking John Lynch right there.
Yeah, this is the previous play.
This is the previous play. If he comes down in there, that's an 8-man. He came down there just long enough to get Batch to check out, or what he thought was check out, into a pass. Batch didn't check into a pass. He kept it on and ran the football. And Lynch ends up coming up making the tackle anyway.
But not where he wanted to, as they got 7 on that. Brings up a 3rd down and a long 1. Toss outside. Stewart can't handle the ball. He's stopped for a big loss. Rondé Barber shot in there along with Donnie Abraham, the 2 corners who played so well last week against Chicago.
Watch the penetration. Chidi Ahanatu is upfield real fast. I know the ball is dropped, but the penetration's there. I don't even think, even if he catches it clean, Donnie Abraham is right there. And that's one thing that the Bucs do such a great job of, is their corners come up and tackle. If you're going to play that cover 2 corners up and 2 safeties deep, your corners have to be tough guys.
John Jett hangs a nice high deep kick out of his end zone. Carl Williams from his own 40. Williams with room.
He's got plenty of room.
Miss. Here goes Carl Williams. He's got Jett to beat, and he beats him, but he's caught from behind. A great hustle team, special teams play from Jimmy Wyrick. 30-yard return for Carl Williams.
We talked about the Lions special teams. Well, now the Bucs come back and they answer with theirs. And Carl Williams makes this all happen. This is all him. Pretty nice block here. I thought it might have been a clip. They didn't call it. But watch the way he just picks his holes here. Missed tackle there, another missed tackle. And the kicker, Jett, actually does a good job of redirecting Williams into his help. He doesn't make the tackle, but he pushes him right back to his help.
Give Williams 40 yards on that return. Sets the Bucs up 1st and 10 in the red zone, where they've been almost perfect this year. King throws it outside, complete to Keyshawn Johnson for another 1st down.
Well, I was talking to Keyshawn before the game, and he said, let me tell you something. They can talk about stats, and they can get guys to replace the stats and get guys that have better numbers and bigger numbers, like what I had up in New York, but you know what they can never replace is the magic. And that's some of that magic. He was serious. But when you can perform and make plays, you can say that. And that's what Keyshawn Johnson does. Using the height to go up and get that ball.
This is all stop territory, and here he goes. And he is stopped for a loss. Penetration from Luther Ellis. He was the first one there, and then the troops showed up.
Luther Ellis plays from what they call the ground up. A guy that's got great leverage, explosion. That looks like Bryant Westbrook.
It's Terry Fair that's down on the ground.
Excuse me. That is.
Well, it's 32 or 23 if he's laying down reverse. It's hard to see, but I think it's fair. So we'll take a break as they attend to Terry Fair. The Bucs are driving. They trail by 3. Terry Fair helped to the sidelines, got his right leg hyperextended on this.
There's Fair right there. Sometimes the friendly fire can get you. And Alan Aldridge, he just kind of kicks his leg back, and that's how easy you can get hurt in this league.
Another look at it, and you see it, just a little snap on that leg.
Well, I mean, it doesn't take much. He just had his knee and leg in the right position.
So Marquise Walker checks in for Fair, 2nd and goal from the 6. King on a rollout. Overshoots his receiver again, looking for Keyshawn, working on the replacement Walker.
And that's exactly what you do. You have to do what we used to call check his jock out. Okay, you got to go after him and see what he's about. And that's what they do. And they do it with the big gun. That's Keyshawn Johnson. You put that ball, boy, that was close. Keyshawn can go up and get those high ones. But that was a little bit too high.
That's the 3rd time that King has thrown the ball high. That's a sign of a quarterback being a little tight. Tampa Bay has gone 11 games without a first quarter touchdown. Looking for one here with Warwick Dunn in the backfield. Motions out, empty. King, quarterback draw, touchdown Bucks.
Smart call by Les Steckel, the offensive coordinator. You see the way the Bucks spread the Lions out, and as long as there's nobody in that box, if they can get 5 or less in that box, that's the time to pull a play like that, and it was wide open.
Second rushing touchdown of the season for Sean King. There's the
Look here,
spread
you got 1,
about.
2, 3, 4, 5, and that's a safety. There's really no linebacker sitting in the hole, and that's why they run that play. Good call.
Martin Automatica on the extra point, and the Buccaneers answer Detroit's field goal. They take the lead 7-3 on this Sean King run.
Fox NFL Sunday, brought to you by Toyota. Go for it every day. By Northwestern Mutual Financial Network. Are you there yet? By Avaya, communication without boundaries. And by Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
Ray Bentley along with Ron Pitts here at the Silverdome. Sean King, his second touchdown in as many weeks, set up by special teams.
Yeah, and that was a huge answer on behalf of the Bucks, because they had to show that even though they got down quick, that they could come back and answer and get points on the board.
Gramatica line drives it because Desmond Howard went 63 on the first one. He's got another nice return coming up on this one, up to the 37-yard line.
This could be a return game.
29 yards on the return. Jeff Gooch made the special teams tackle.
Desmond Howard told us that I'd like to see when teams get kicks returned on them. He said, I saw the New England tape, and that's all the inspiration and confidence I need right there. And we asked him, do you think you can take one back? And these guys said, I know I can. And so far, I believe he does know he can.
They almost did in the opener, in the opening kickoff. So Detroit starts it on their own 38-yard line. Batch, play action. Throws it outside. Herman Moore, what a catch.
That's the old Herman Moore that I know. I don't know where the Herman Moore has been the last couple weeks, and really most of last year, but going up and taking the ball, working on a shorter corner here on Abraham. What do they say? If you're going up against a taller receiver and you're a smaller corner, if you're even, you're beat. Woo! I don't know if Herman caught that ball, but he got up like he did.
It doesn't matter now as the snap comes off. He did not catch that one as Donnie Abraham's there right away. But Herman Moore.
I think Herman got away with one. Guess that's the advantage of being 6'5". When you drop one, you can kind of cradle that 6'5" body around it.
Take another look at that last play. The one where it was questionable whether he caught it or not. We'll never know. It goes down as a completion as the Lions go 2nd and 10. Bucks go into that 8-man front. Draw to Stewart. Flag is down. Gain of 1 on the play. Bottom of that pile is Marcus Jones.
Even if you can get Warren Sapp blocked, the rest of the front four for the Bucks, they can come across the line of scrimmage. Marcus Jones is in there on that play. Derek Brooks, he's up in there.
Holding the right guard. 10 yards. Repeat, 2nd down.
That's on Jeff Harding's number 64.
That puts the Lions in 2nd and 20. Not a good situation.
No, not a good situation against this defense, because this is when they can go into their zone. That straight cover 2 where they'll have 5 defenders underneath. And with the speed they have on defense, you throw a short ball, they can come up and tag you like sharks going after blood in the water.
And usually it's Derek Brooks is the guy. He's the lead shark. Batch looking down the middle to Sloan. Sloan gets half of it back. And now the troops rally. Brooks was there first. A bunch of Bucks showed up.
Compton getting in, mixing it up with Damian Robinson. You make a good point, though, Ray, getting it half back. And that's all you got back. Now you're going to be forced with a 3rd and long.
But it's not. It's doable at 3rd and 9. That's doable. You see Charlie Batch's numbers here in the first quarter. Crowell and Moore go to the top of the set. Morton alone at the bottom. Batch from the gun.
Wow, Marcus Robinson.
There's a flag down in the backfield. Maybe Robinson got a hold of Batch's face mask, or excuse me, Marcus Jones. Might have hit Batch in the face running by. We'll see.
Face mask, 78 defense, 5 yards, 3rd down.
Indeed.
Yeah, Ray, I meant Marcus Jones. He got a great jump, and he's working against Ray Roberts. Ray had that off-season ACL, had surgery, and really not quite there. There's the matchup there. Really, Ray was just in a bind.
I mean,
I don't know if I saw the face mask grab right there.
Right there.
Yeah, and you're right, and that's a good call, because if you grab any part of the helmet, you don't have to touch the face mask. Jones grabbed up around the ear hole. Any part of that helmet is considered a face mask, and that's a break for the Lions.
So Marcus Jones goes out. Steve White checks in at that right end. Batch under pressure. The ball's batted away.
And guess who?
Rondé Barber in there with Shelton Quarles.
Here's a question for you. Who leads the NFC in sacks? Tied for the lead.
Hell, I did my homework. I know.
He's not over 5'11". That's a hint.
Rondé Barber.
Rondé Barber.
I think it was
He comes late.
It's hard to see who hit it, but both of them were there.
You know, we talked to Rondé last night. He said, it's not me, it's just a scheme. I don't believe that. Blitzers have a feel for blitzing. And he was in there with Jones.
Punt is partially blocked by Barber.
Bucks should stay away from that ball.
And if it crosses the line of scrimmage, it's treated like a regular punt. So the Bucks, big special teams play again, a 13-yard kick, and the Buccaneers will take it from their own 35. They lead by 4. That last John Jett punt partially blocked by Rondé Barber. Right now, let's go down to the sidelines, and Jennifer Hammond with a report.
All right, thanks, guys. Terry Fair not expected to return for this next defensive series. As you can see, still icing that sore right knee. It is termed bruised, and his return is probable. Guys?
Thank you, Jennifer. In the game right now for him is Lamar Campbell at that right corner spot.
Yeah, and probable means you probably won't be playing anymore today.
That's what the probably is.
And if I'm Tampa Bay, I continue to match up Keyshawn Johnson over there on Campbell. And I'm going to try to get the ball to him.
Well, the Bucks throw Jaquez Green over there. As Keyshawn is down at the bottom against Westbrook. But it's the fullback Allstott with the run, breaking tackles, giving 9 yards on the play.
You know what's amazing about Allstott is that you know about his power and his strength and all that, and how he's really a halfback in a fullback's body, but the guy has great balance and he runs behind his pads. That's a perfect picture of it right there. To be able to run in that bent knee position, to run low. And he uses that free arm a lot to ward off tackles.
2nd and 1. Allstott. First down. Near to midfield. Stephen Boyd tripped him up. Rice covered him up. First down, Buccaneers.
The only way the Lions are going to stop that is that the 2 nose tackles have to be stout. And this is why you bring in guys like Randall McDaniel, Jeff Christie, guys who are strong and smart inside. You don't need a lot for Mike Allstott. Just to see him here, a crease here, and he's got enough power to get you 5.
1st and 10 from midfield. King to Allstott, and he's hit immediately by Chris Claiborne.
You saw Chris Claiborne in that feature in the pregame talking about his father who was murdered up here in Detroit. You know, it's got to be hard to have that happen and then have to stay here and play football in the same city. And as a young player, I just can't imagine having to go through that.
A very tough situation, and what a great interview Pam Oliver did. That'd be a tough one to do, but Claiborne is really, he was able to talk about it, and I think he's better from it. Blitz comes. King had to throw it away. James Jones with the pressure.
See Larry Peccatello, the defensive coordinator, picking his spots now. Ron Rice goes. Boyd is just trying to give a distraction. That's a pretty nice pickup by Warrick Dunn. You know, a guy who's supposed to be too small to step up and pick up blitzing backs. He did a pretty good job on it there.
5'8", 180 was big enough. Brings up 3rd down and 7. King 2 for his last 6 in the air. Blitz comes late. King throws it up to the corner. Looking for Green. Jaquez Green with a catch down at the 5.
And there it is. We talked about going after Campbell. Well, they don't use Keyshawn, but they use a guy who's been playing great football the last couple weeks. Jaquez Green, he just runs the go.
Nice throw.
And Campbell has got him. I just think that Campbell went to sleep, and that's the worst thing you can do as a corner. He went to sleep for a split second. And Jaquez, good job of concentrating on the football.
42 yards on the play. 1st and goal from the 4. Allstott and Dunn in the backfield. Allstott.
He's still going.
Touchdown Bucks. Is there a better runner inside the 5 than Mike Allstott?
That's all Allstott. Here's a guy, as Tony Dungy has to give a little smile there. I don't blame him. Comes into the season, loses about 15 to 20 pounds. And all that means is about a few more steps in speed and acceleration.
Allstott's 4th touchdown on the year puts the Bucks up with the extra point from Gramatica. Now 14-3. Tampa Bay takes the lead, and they talked about getting that early start, and they've done so.
Yeah, it has to start though with some kind of blocking up front. Right off this side over McDaniel and Christie. They give a little slide to the right. He cuts it back, but just knocks down Porcher and just keeps powered. And you see he keeps his feet moving the whole time. Watch here. Watch how low Allstott is. Keeps his feet moving the whole time. Runs over Schultz, breaks through Porcher and into the end zone. And you want to know why the Bucks can average 4.1 yards a crack rushing? When you can average 4.1 a crack, you set yourself up for some very makeable 3rd down situation. But I got to go back to the play really of Sean King. I mean, they have answered the call here. They came in. They had the big special teams play right off the bat. They answer with their own special teams play, have the great field position, and now they go right back down the field.
6-play, 65-yard drive, capped off by that 4-yard Allstott touchdown run. The big play, the 43-yard pass, King to Green.
And the block punt, again, special teams has played a big part. Rondé Barber. Is there anything Rondé Barber can't do? You know, it's a good year for the Barbers.
It is.
If you're a Barber, it's a good year for you.
Gramatica kicks it off to Howard. Again, a line drive shot, but good bounce for Howard at the 5. Howard with another hole. Here goes Desmond.
And Rondé Barber and Gramatica are going to have to get him again.
Gramatica finally gets him out of bounds, but another huge return for Desmond Howard. Give him 71 on that one.
They must have Martin Gramatica going through tackling drills in practice. Watch the pace and the timing of when the wedge makes their blocks and his acceleration. There it is. They've got their blocks. Now he's at full go. That's perfect timing, and that's the whole key. Of course, it helps to get some guys out of their lanes. A great job by Gramatica. He gets them up by the head, but you know what? He makes the play.
I don't think they helped themselves with that line drive kick. It gets the ball into Howard's hands sooner, and it was a great hop.
And it doesn't give your coverage enough time to get down there.
Now there's a flag out. Delay of game against the Lions.
Men in the huddle on Detroit, 5 yards. Still 1st down.
You got too many men in the huddle. No more than 11 in the huddle at any one time, and that's what they got popped for. But look at this. That's insane.
Howard, when he was talking to us, talked about the eyes. He's using the eyes pretty good here today.
You know, Martin Gramatica, he hurt something. I don't know if it was foot or, but he was limping as he made the tackle.
1st and 15, Batch. Scrambling, he'll pull it down, and he is hit by Kelly, knocked out of bounds.
Number 10, Charlie Batch,
and now Detroit has to answer with their great special teams play. And that's what the Bucs have been able to do.
Ten seconds left here in the first quarter. Batch hands it off to Stewart. Breaks one set of tackles. Doesn't get through that second set. As Duncan makes the tackle. That's the end of the first quarter. Tampa Bay 14-3 over the Detroit Lions. Thank you to Sean King. His touchdown run got him going early, and then Allstott capped it off. 14-3 Bucs. Martin Gramatica had to make that tackle against Desmond Howard. He took his lumps for it.
Yeah, he took his lumps last week. I asked him before the game how he feels about all his tackling. He kind of gave me that, well, you know, I'm going to get it done if I have to get it done, but he's paying the price for getting it done.
3rd and 10 Lions. Here comes the corner blitz again. Picked up this time. Batch throws it outside. It's complete to Herman Moore. Moore gets the first down.
You know, the Lions think they're better with Charlie Batch in the game. And, you know, when Charlie Batch is in the game, there's a leadership feel, you know, a confidence that he brings, an air that he brings to this team that they don't have when he's out. You know, that time sitting in the pocket, the blitz is there. They did a nice job of picking up the blitz and going to a guy who's been the money man here in the past, Herman Moore.
Moore with 2 catches, 24 yards. He goes in motion. Stewart. Nothing doing.
Boy, look at this. You knew this was going to be a physical game.
Look how big Gibson is.
Gibson.
He's a tall tree.
Gibson is a man. You got Rondé Barber down there, and then there's Gibson up top. And look at the action on this side here. You know, these are just 2 NFC Central teams getting after it. You know, Gibson didn't like the fact that one of the Bucs came in late, so he jumps 380 pounds on top of Derek Brooks, and I don't blame Brooks for being mad.
Gibson wears an 8 3/8 size helmet. Biggest on the team. 2nd and 10. Dumped underneath to Stewart. Stewart gets 6 yards on the play. Derek Brooks there with the hit.
Talk about some hit. The weakness in this cover 2 scheme is right in the middle of the field. And that's where the Lions are trying to go. But all good cover 2 teams, you go back to the '86 Giants with LT when they went to the Super Bowl. The one thing they do when that ball is caught, they come up and tag you. And you saw a great hit there.
You see the Lions' troubles in the red zone. That's why they haven't scored an offensive touchdown yet this season.
Doesn't help with the fact that the Buccaneers are #1 in the NFC in the red zone.
Batch. Sack.
Warren.
By Warren Sapp.
Here comes the dance. Here comes something.
3.5 sacks now on the year for Sapp.
You know, they can slide the line, they can chip, but sooner or later you're going to go one-on-one with Warren Sapp. And you got to try to block him. They don't even touch him. Atkins never looked his way. Obviously a mix-up in the protection. Compton's looking this way. Everybody's looking this way. I'll tell you one thing, Charlie Batch looked that way.
They're okay. Jason Hansen trying to stay perfect on the year. This one from 34 yards out. Good snap, good hold. Wide right. First miss of the season by Jason Hansen. And the Bucs hold.
There's a guy that made 90 of the last 98 field goal attempts inside 50. He sinks that one.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Budweiser with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. By Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers. by the motor oil that provides maximum protection. Castrol GTX. Drive hard. And by Autotrader.com, the biggest, best used car site on the planet.
Jason Hansen misses the first field goal of the year, and you look at it from inside 40 yards. 4 of his 5 misses has come against the Bucs, and here he is before the game, and he's working on air, and you know he makes all of these.
Yeah, these are 100 for 100, but the only problem is it doesn't always happen like that game time. And it's still the same thing for the Detroit Lions. The offense can't put the ball in the end zone.
1st and 10, Buccaneers. Blitz comes. King escapes. Now he's going to be chased down by Scroggins. Kurt Schultz as well, but right now, let's go back to Los Angeles and JB for a game break.
Hey, Ray and Ron, here's a welcome sight for Falcons fans. Jamal Anderson looking awfully nifty on grass, 26 yards to pay dirt. First rushing touchdown of the season for Jamal. Falcons have won 3 of the last 4 against Carolina. 10-0 now. Ray and Ron.
Jamal Anderson coming back is a big boost for those Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, he is coming off that surgery.
2nd down and 6. Work done. Cuts back right into Stephen Boyd's arms.
There's a picture of the speed and pursuit from the Lions defense. And we talked about their front 4, but they've got some linebackers that can get to the football. Watch this group of guys right here. You know, they pull Christie and they're trying to get something on perimeter. And now Warwick tries to cut it back. There's just too many blue shirts there. And Stephen Boyd has a knack, Ray, and you know this being a linebacker, of getting backdoor on some things and sneaking behind the blocks and making the play.
He's so hard to block because he's so smart and sneaky in there. 3rd and 5. Keyshawn Johnson in motion. Flag down, might be offsides. Pass complete for a 1st down. Who else? Keyshawn Johnson.
I think James Jones kind of got off the mark a little early. If so, Bucs will decline that.
Offside, 97 defense, penalties decline, 1st down.
They got Scroggins on that, and as you said, penalty declined. As Keyshawn makes another 1st down catch, his 3rd grab of the day.
He's at the bottom of the screen. There was the offsides, but here's Keyshawn just working inside.
All-stop, fullback up the middle. Breaks a tackle, rumbles up to the 50-yard line where Kurt Schultz gets him down. Give Allstott 14 more yards. He's got 42 on 7 carries today.
Still starts with the blocking up front, and we said he only needs a seam. Watch McDaniel and Christie here. A nice seam off there, a seal off there by Pearson. You know, Allstott is just so strong. Always got the legs churning. And then he's got that good vision. He's not just a 2 hands over the ball guy. He can pop it out and get the extra yards on the outside too.
Dunn tries to get it outside. Nowhere to go there. There's a flag thrown out as Chris Claiborne ends up making a tackle along with Schultz.
You know, Tony Dungy told us last night that
holding Detroit, holding Buccaneers.
Holding, 40 defense, 10 yards, repeat 1st down.
Yeah, I think he meant 40 offense. That'd be Mike Allstott.
Yeah, Tony, I say he told us last night, 2 things we have to do. Not have the early miscues and then be good on the special teams. Well, they've been okay on the miscues, and the special teams have been a plus for them.
Except for the kickoff coverage.
Yeah, but I think they've kept the points off the board. And their offense has been able to do what the Lions offense hasn't been able to do, and that's put the points on the board.
1st and 20. King throws it outside, complete to Anthony. Westbrook runs him out after a pickup of 6.
You know, the Bucs can just grind on you. You know, they got Allstott, and they can run it power inside up the middle. And then just when you're ready for that and you bring down your safety, now they throw Warwick Dunn at you, and they can hurt you throwing the ball on the outside. And here comes the screens with the receivers.
See Sean King checking the wristband. That's what he uses to call plays in from the sidelines. 2nd and 14. Blitz. Throws it out hot to Keyshawn Johnson. No first down this time. Lamar Campbell with the hit.
Biggest thing you got to contain with a guy like Keyshawn Johnson is yards after the catch yak. He can go up and make that great catch, but a lot of times he'll kill you getting that 2nd and 3rd effort going down the field. And they're pumping him the ball today. I don't think there's going to be too many critics say, where are the footballs of Keyshawn Johnson?
Confusion in the Buccaneers huddle. They'll take a timeout. We'll take one as well. Tampa Bay ahead of Detroit 14-3. 8:34 left here in the first half. This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, Juan Gonzalez and the Tigers visit the Big Apple to take on Derek Jeter and the defending world champion Yankees as they tune up for the postseason. Or two AL West contenders meet as Jason Giambi and the A's battle Alex Rodriguez and the Mariners in a pivotal series for first place. Plus, there'll be other regional action. It's Fox Saturday Baseball this week. The action starts at 12:30 Eastern and Pacific. Check your local listings as you see the American League wildcard standings. And in Oakland, with a chance to double dip, they're battling Seattle out in the West, and their game against Tampa Bay canceled today because of that hurricane. King with pressure, dumps it out to Dunn, makes a man miss, but he'll be stopped short of that first down. Coming up, Jimmy Wyrick with a big play.
That's a 3rd and long. That's a tough one to pick up. I like the call, though. Get the ball in the hands of a guy that can make a lot of people miss. Unfortunately for him, like we said about the Lions' speed on defense, they can get around the ball, too.
Good pressure on that play from Scroggins, forced King to dump it out. So the Bucs will have to punt. Mark Royals will kick it to Desmond Howard. Something you don't really want to do. Returnable ball, but Howard goes for the fair catch.
He's kind of kicking himself for that one right now, but as a punt returner, you don't second guess your decision. Ball security is a must.
In New York, the buzz is thunder and lightning. Coming up, the Giants against Chicago. Many of you will see that, plus other regional games, all part of a Fox NFL doubleheader weekend that continues after this game. We talked about that thunder and lightning there, Ron, and I tell you what, Ron Dane, Kiki Barber, oh, baby, that's a scary matchup.
And like we were saying, it's a good year for the Barber family. You know, we talked to Rondé last night, and there's a 7-minute difference in birth order between the two. But
Rondé being older.
Rondé likes to take a lot of credit for the success in the family and all that kind of good stuff.
Why not? 1st and 10. And that's Corey Schlesinger picking up a yard. Excuse me, James Stewart.
It's funny, I asked Rondé Barber last night, how does mom split up the games? And he said, well, you know, she kind of splits them in half, but you know, I know how that mom thing can go. It depends on who's doing good.
Well, Rondé's doing pretty good. He batted that pass away, partially blocked this punt.
Play
Getting
action
it done is Batch trying to get it done here on 2nd and long. Hooks up to Schlesinger, and he'll be about 3 yards short of that first down.
The Lions have to try to answer here, because you can look at the score and say, well, it's only 14-3, and you know, obviously you're still in the game, but the way they've been producing, especially down by the red area, they're having some troubles. They have to try to take a shot, and that's what I'm surprised they haven't done, is take that shot down the field. Johnny Morton has almost been shut out.
He has, as the blitz comes again, and Batch throws behind it to Herman Moore, but that's going to be short of the first down.
See, that's what I don't get right there. You're playing into the hands of what the Bucs do. With the coverages they play, loading up the underneath zones, they want to break up, and the Boo Birds come out here in Detroit, and I can partly understand it. In order to loosen up a defense, you either run it on him and make them bring up a safety and go man-to-man on the outside, or you take some shots deep to put the fear in their heart. They've really been able to do neither.
John Jett will punt to Carl Williams. Returned the first one 42 yards. He'll make the fair catch at his own 40-yard line, and that's where the Bucs will be in business. A 35-yard punt from John Jett. It's been all Tampa Bay here in the first half. They lead 14-3. You see Terry Fair making his way to the locker room. Bruised right knee, and his return, they said probable, looks more like doubtful right now.
Yeah, more like highly unlikely. But this has been the problem with the Lions secondary, especially Fair right there and Westbrook on the other side, the other corner. They've been beat up all year long. They just came into this year healthy. Last year they were laying on the training table quite a bit.
Allstott hit by Scroggins. Gain of 1 on the play.
You know, Ray, this game still comes down to what it should, and that's the run game. One team has clearly been able to run the ball better than the other, with the exception of that play. The Bucs have clearly run it better than the Lions.
Tampa Bay with 55 yards rushing. Detroit with just 12, and that was the key to this ball game. You look at both teams talked about, hey, we got to run the ball, we got to stop the run. So far, Tampa Bay has been more successful. King, play action, as all day. Now he just throws it away.
And as with any quarterback, that's when Sean King gets in trouble, when he holds that ball. You know, there's a clock that every quarterback has in their head of 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds, whatever it is, and then you either got to pull it down and run with it or move out of that pocket. He makes a smart throw and getting rid of it, not making a dumb throw. But holding is never good.
3rd down and 9. Lions crowd wakes up.
Blitz.
Schultz on the blitz. Oh, what a great pass from King. He hits Warwick Dunn down the sidelines. Huge pickup. Boy, how about Sean King standing in there, taking his medicine and throwing a strike.
And there the flip side is of holding the ball. You know a shot's coming. He knew that Schultz was coming right down the pipe. There he is. He's a long ways away, but he knows that Warwick Dunn is probably going to beat his man in the open, and he lofted it right over Marquise Walker on the outside.
That was a great throw.
It's an incredible throw. I mean, he's got to drop that ball right over the back, and that's what Sean King does well. He's got that touch.
Lions missing Terry Fair in that secondary. 1st and 10 Buccaneers. King rolls. Throws it outside. Oh, no. What a great catch, Jaquez Green. And now that Buccaneers offense is starting to really execute.
Yep. Jaquez Green is a guy that's going to get his due. And you know, they talk about other players making players better. Now, I believe that he just got him in.
Well, he got one in, and I think he got pushed out.
You talk about players making other players better. Keyshawn Johnson hasn't hurt.
Allstott hit by Schultz, but he barrels his way inside the 5.
Somebody better get some more air in their helmet. Because I heard a helmet-to-helmet shot from up here. Allstott's one of those guys that just likes football. He's a guy that'll get up with a smile on his face, even if he goes helmet-to-helmet with somebody. I don't know that what we heard in the beginning of the season about using Allstott in different roles, throwing the football. I don't go for all that. I think Allstott is what Allstott was in the years past here.
Which is pretty dang good at just running it up the gut.
Right up the gut. That other talk is nice and it sounds good, but you go back to what you do best.
1st and goal from the 5. King doesn't like it. Timeout. He'll take the 2nd Buccaneers timeout. This is critical for the Lions to try and hold Tampa Bay to a field goal here and keep that deficit under 2 touchdowns.
But this is what the Bucs offense wanted. Offenses get a little hot, a little irritated, and I'm not saying that the Bucs offense has said this or done this, because they haven't, but they don't like to see the defense always get their points. They want to go out and dominate a game themselves. They want to go out and come from behind, even though it was 3 points, and take control of the contest like they've done here. Have those long possession drives and really make the defense do what they want. And they've been able to make the Lions defense do exactly what they want.
You know, one thing that they had talked about, Tampa Bay, this is their first year with Les Steckel's system, and the defense on the other side, they've been with Monty Kiffin now 5 years, and so it's just a different learning curve.
That's right.
And they feel that the offense isn't doing too bad a job. They're where they should be.
It's going to be a natural amount of time to get the offense down pat, and they're still learning and doing a good job.
First and goal from the 5. All-Star takes the handoff. Makes one man miss, but they're right there as James Jones gets him down.
You got to
give
the credit to James Jones there. The penetration, got a flag, is the only thing that can stop a play like that, and a guy like Allstott once he gets rolling.
That'll be against the Buccaneers.
That's
illegal shift on the offense. Number 19 never set. Penalty is declined. Second down.
Keyshawn's got to be set for a full second there when you're moving more than one guy in a shift.
See Keyshawn's numbers today.
There's Keyshawn right there. He's going to come over. Now he's got to be sat down. Kind of in that gray area.
Lions
I don't know.
decline it.
That was a funny call there.
Second and goal from the 6. Nobody in the backfield. They ran the quarterback draw here last time. Not this time. They throw the fade to Keyshawn, incomplete.
And they got a flag down.
Westbrook with the covers. There's a flag at the line of scrimmage.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on the Lions.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 50 defense. Half a distance to the goal. First down.
Those are the kind of plays that kill you.
Critical mistake from Chris Claiborne.
And you know, once you get in there and get a shot on the quarterback as a defender, it's hard to control your emotions. He's allowed one step, and I'll agree with that. He's allowed one step after the ball is gone. He took about a step and a half, and he laid into him. That's a good call. There's been some questionable calls here in the last few weeks on late hits on the quarterback.
So with the penalty, the Bucs have the ball just outside the 2-yard line. First and goal. Randall McDaniel into the backfield. Allstott behind McDaniel. And he'll be stopped. No gain on the play. Claiborne in there first.
See big Randall sitting back there. Now you've got a really strong guard who's got a 5-yard run at you. And teams are getting ready for this now. Remember the Bears did this so many years with the fridge, and people started to copycat it.
Well, Randall did it up in Minnesota.
Randall did it up in Minnesota. He just destroyed Ted Johnson in the opener up in New England on that play.
McDaniel stays in the backfield. Will they throw to him?
There he is. There's Randall.
And he's got it for the touchdown.
You have to remember, he's an eligible player. He comes in and declares himself as eligible. Not only can he run you over, but he can also fake like he's going to run you over and go out for a pass. That shouldn't be fair. What do you think, Ray? As a linebacker,
it's unfair.
Is that fair?
That's not right. But it worked awful well for the Buccaneers. You know, when we talked to him earlier, I asked Tony Dungy, are you going to end up throwing the ball to him? And he said, you know, at some point, we may do that.
Yeah, you guys said
here was that point.
Yeah, Tony gave that little smile, and, you know, we may do that.
Gramatica adds the extra point, and the Buccaneers walking away with this one in the first half. They take a 21-3 lead with 2:16 left as Randall McDaniel has his first career touchdown reception.
All McDaniel's going to do is get out in the flat, but you know what? Keyshawn has got to clear this out. And when these guys up front see Randall coming at them, you know they bristle up and get tight. They're not even considering pass. They just blew that one. And you know, all the years that Randall McDaniel has played football, his fingers go about every which way you can imagine from playing on that offensive line.
You know,
he did a nice job.
Caught it with the hands.
Soft hands. Keyshawn has got to sell this inside. He's got to clear the area. And he does that. And you got two guys over here. They're not over there to get balls. They're over there to clear that out for this man.
And Scroggins just, he put his hands on McDaniel, but let him go.
Woo, I think Randall got a one-hander on that one, too. He just showed a little vertical. We got to go find out what Randall's vertical is.
Well, the best thing that the Lions have done today is return kickoffs. Desmond Howard brought the first one back 63, the second one 29, the last one officially 70. And that's been the best part of their game as you look at that scoring drive by the Bucs.
Yeah, and the worst part of the Lions game is what was the worst part last week and the week before. The offense is not putting the ball in the end zone.
0 for 8 on the year for touchdowns in the red zone is Detroit. Gramatica. We'll see if he goes up with it or lines it. This time he goes high. Makes Howard run to the side.
Uh-oh, you got to get it.
Bad hop, and Howard's got to get on that football. He does. Makes a couple men miss, but he goes nowhere this time. Effective kick by Gramatica, holding Howard to just a 7-yard return, and Detroit will have to start backed up.
Yeah, we talk about Keyshawn selling that play and making the block and everything, but here's another advantage of a Keyshawn Johnson. You know, he's over there with Moore, first guy over there to congratulate. He brings that energy and excitement and competitiveness.
The magic.
The magic. He said, I'm the man, the magic. And he gets to keep that 19. How about that?
First and 10 Lions from their own 13-yard line. Batch dumps it over the middle, complete to Crowell.
What's hard now for the Lions is that they are out of any kind of run mode and they are into a pass mode if they want to get back in this football game.
That's the 2-minute warning. The Lions trail Tampa Bay 21-3. Now this guy needs to wake up in time for the Visa halftime report coming up. JB, Terry, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league, plus our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats all coming up. Wake up on the Visa halftime report.
That guy laying down there, as you look at the little young lion and the old lion, that guy laying down, that's what happens when your offense can't put the ball in the end zone. Everybody just says, you know what?
Nap time. 2 minutes left in the first half. Detroit with all 3 timeouts. 2nd and 1 from their own 22. Batch to Sloan. Wide open. David Sloan. His 3rd grab of the day for 16 yards.
Look at Warren Sapp holding Charlie Batch, trying to keep him from getting back to the line to make the call. And you saw the shots that Sloan took there. This defense will hit you in the zones when you catch the ball.
Batch looking for Morton. Got him. His 1st grab of the day. Here's Warren Sapp. It's a big circle.
Sapp working there against Atkins. Ball's out quick. Thank goodness. You know, Atkins has been in the league for a while now. You know, 7th year. He's not a rookie by any means, but a guy like Warren Sapp just plays with so much explosion off the ball and leverage. And even without Culpepper there, they're still doing something that they were doing last year as a unit, and that's getting vertical up the field. And they've got depth. That's a big key. If you're going to be a good defense, you have to have depth on your defensive line. That's something the Rams had last year. That's something the Bucs had last year. It's one reason the 2 teams played in the NFC Championship.
Detroit used their first timeout, 2nd and 2, their own 46. Here comes that blitz. Batch throws behind it again, hooks up with Herman Moore.
I still say that Charlie has got to take a shot to the end zone here. One deep shot before you go in at halftime. And everything's been short, and they're moving the ball. And I understand that principle. But I think you got to try that.
Herman Moore, the leading receiver for Detroit with 4 catches. Batch overshoots Morton.
It's funny, the Lions, they've tried to attack in the middle of the field, and versus a cover 2 defense, the middle of the field is the weakness.
Especially if you're trying, what you're trying to do is spread those safeties out and then hit the middle.
Right. You know, they've had Sloan short in the middle, and they've hit some other things there, but they've never been able to run anybody down that center.
Batch against that 2 deep again, pulls it down, and he's going to be sacked by Marcus Jones.
That might be one reason it's hard to run somebody down the center. a pass rush. Marcus Jones coming off the end. And when you stay inside and you leave extra protection for Sapp, then Marcus Jones is going to get you.
Came free on the stunt.
They ran a stunt, and he just comes free.
This is what Warren Sapp can do for you.
Now you got Atkins. He got beat before. He passes off to Roberts. He doesn't get in on the play, but somebody else does. You know, in order to throw those seam balls down the middle of the field, you got to have time. I don't think Charlie had quite 3 seconds there.
Second sack of the day for Tampa Bay, 13th on the season in just the 3rd game, actually 2.5 games. 3rd and 18. Batch chased again. Now he throws it behind Stewart, incomplete. And there are 50 seconds left in the first half, and Detroit will have to punt it away.
They're going to punt it away, and Tampa Bay is going to have yet another shot at getting more points. I mean, not only did they not get within field goal range to take their shot, they're going to turn the ball over.
Carl Williams back at his 15-yard line. First punt today, you see, 42 yards. John Jett with the pressure.
Woo,
It's
blocked. Wow. They brought the house.
Second time the Bucs have gotten to Jett. Alsherman Singleton got the hand in front of it and blocked it for Tampa Bay. Number 51.
You ever heard of the term housequake? That was it right there.
Well, Barber got a piece of one earlier. This one knocked down, block punt by Singleton.
You know, just watch this whole interior here. The punter's got to hurry up the ball, but they just have a jailbreak. It's not even close. Alsherman Singleton, he got in on there. I mean, there's just so many guys in on the play. There's no blocking on the right side of that line.
Yeah, Floyd Young was right in there too.
Joe Marciano, the special teams coach, they had a rough outing up there in New England in the first game. Well, they're paying all of that back in this one.
So Tampa Bay with 1 timeout left, take over the ball on the Lions 30. King right to work, incomplete. Looking for Green. Good coverage out there by Campbell.
What do they say? Whenever you go on the road, and that's the mark of a good team, is you bring 2 things, your defense and your special teams. And the Bucs have brought the special teams on board here as you look at Les Steckel, trying to at least get 3 out of here.
Well, they're already in Grammatica's range. He kicked a 65-yarder back in his college days. Draw, done. He fights his way up past the 20-yard line. Stephen Boyd gets him. It'll be close. I think it's going to be just short of that first down. And the Bucs are going to use their final timeout. You've been talking about those special teams for Tampa Bay, and they have just been outstanding aside from kickoff coverage here today.
See, that's, to me, that's what takes the Buccaneers to that next level. And you see here the return by Carl Williams. Great vision. Nice blocking on the play. Once again, it's set up great field position for the offense. 2 blocked punts. A partial block right there by Rondé Barber. Mr. Everything. And now the full house blitz block.
Barber came up with it.
I think if Tony Dungy is saying we need to go to that next level and take that next step, and that's what you have to do if you're a great team. The great teams do that, and they do it in little ways like special teams.
So Tampa, 3rd and 1, no timeouts. You need to get the first down, but you want to stop the clock as well.
Yeah, I guarantee you they'll take their shot at the end zone.
And King does so.
Well, that's not what I had in mind, but I understand what he had in mind.
Well, they were covered up very good down there, so he just threw it between the crossbars. And now Grammatica will try and kick it through the crossbars.
He caught that clean, didn't he?
Yeah, that's I think the first touchdown reception for the Lions all year. There you go. Oh no, he dropped it.
Oh yeah, I didn't think he. Yeah. he tried to pocket catch it and then spilled his beer. So that was a rough down for him.
Gramatica on to kick the field goal, and that is no good. Wide left from 38 yards.
I'm not so sure that Gramatica is 100% correct.
Well,
he's feeling correct after that hit he took.
Saw him get his ribs taped up, and he just pulls it left.
Got a nice kick on it, nice hit on it.
And here's our guy that spilled his beer, dropped the ball, but he can officiate.
The more you can do.
Guy's having some fun. That's what it's all about.
He's into the game. Now he needs to tell the Lions what to do about getting the ball in the end zone.
Well, they have 16 seconds and 1 timeout remaining. They're going to need to take that shot you've been talking about. Why not? Batch dumps it over the middle to Johnny Morton. Morton up near midfield. They need to use that timeout, and they do. Final timeout by the Lions, gain of 20. Batch to Morton gets him up near midfield. 7 seconds left.
Yeah, so obviously now you go for a relatively quick out route that can get out of bounds within 8 seconds, or you go ahead and just take your shot on the Hail Mary to the end zone.
Jason Hansen made a 54-yarder last week. That means Detroit has to get up at least to the 37. They need 13 yards on this play and to get out of bounds.
And if I'm Tampa Bay, I go ahead and get myself deep and
might just
let him
throw the bomb and maybe get the penalty.
And if he wants to complete that quick out, I'm going to say to his kicker, yeah, Mr. Hansen, go ahead and make a long one. We're up 21-3.
So Batch will take that shot. Throws it up into the end zone. Touchdown! Jermaine Crowell on the final play of the first half.
And you know, Ray, the thing that was strange about that, the Buccaneers only put 3 defensive backs deep.
And that may be what the Lions needed to get jump started. Gets them right back into the ball game.
They've got regular personnel in the field. They put 3 defensive backs deep. I'm not sure how they were playing this. Right here, Damian Robinson's got to go get the ball. You can't wait on that play. Go up and get the ball.
This is what will drive you crazy as a head coach.
This is what makes you have antacid pills in your locker. Now they got to kick the field goal.
The extra point.
The extra point, excuse me.
Hansen's first extra point try of the year. And he's good. And the Lions score their first touchdown offensively of the 2000 season on the last play of the first half. And Tampa Bay sees their lead cut back to 11 as it's 21-10 Tampa Bay over Detroit. We'll be back with more from the Pontiac Silverdome in a moment. The big play by the Lions tore up the turf at the end of the half as Jermaine Crowell catches a Charlie Batch pass, a 50-yarder on the final play. And Tony Dungy about loses his mind as the Lions celebrate. They trail by 11. We've got the Visa halftime report coming up after this break.
The Visa Halftime Report is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
All right, and welcome to the Visa Halftime back here in Los Angeles with the Troika. Chris, Terry, yours truly, James Brown. And we look at the Buccaneers' offensive explosion, 21 points in the first half for the Bucs. They're on top of the Lions. We take a look at the Eagles. Terry said they wanted to be more aggressive. Deuce Staley, 90 total yards, but only up by 3 against the Pack at Lambeau.
Kurt Warner, NFL MVP, Super Bowl MVP, play action out of the eye, down over the middle. Whoa! Hey! Where'd you come from? Winford Tubbs picks off his Roland Williams, knocks it in the air. He picks it off. Excellent job. 49ers looking awfully good. No score at this point until this. Play action. Back sweep right. Pump right. Safety out of the way. Then turns around. Beasley one-on-one on the linebacker Collins. That's a 29-yard touchdown. 7-0. San Fran. Back comes Warner. Tony Horn. 18-yard touchdown reception. Now we got a 10-10 game. Garcia back. Remember, this guy was under pressure. Might lose the job. Finds his running back, Charlie Garner, 20-yard touchdown, 17-10. 49ers. Rams back. Isaac Bruce, 78-yard streak route. He beats the rookie, Ahmed Plummer, the cornerback. It's a 17-17 score. And then in this game, John Keefe just intercepted Warner, who had 3 interceptions, JB, but one of those was overruled. 2 interceptions, got a great ball game.
Jamal Anderson, 50 yards in the first half, all knotted in Carolina at 10. Battle for AFC East supremacy show the Jets right now 21-14 over the Buffalo Bills. As we move along the scoreboard, we'll show you that the Bengals. Chris, what's happening?
Second half team, JB.
Oh, boy, second half of 2002, right? They're trailing the Jaguars by 10. Browns 14-10 over the Steelers, and that one.
Ask them what's the matter with the Steelers. The Browns are beating them, too.
Oh, we know that's perennial. The Hail Mary pass.
That was big. And you know why it was big? Because it allows Detroit now to stay in their offense, and they're not going to have to abandon the run, although maybe they should. James Stewart, I think, 8 yards on 7 carries in the first half. Have to take some pressure off of Charlie Batch. He can't throw it all the time.
We'll bring in the oxygen for TB. In the meantime, the Visa halftime will continue. The second half of your game between Tampa Bay and Detroit right after this.
Ray Bentley and Ron Pitts here at the Silverdome. Tampa Bay 21-10 over Detroit. Jennifer Hammond caught up with Bobby Ross at halftime.
Coach, you finally found the end zone there in the end of the second quarter. How do you keep it going in the second half?
Well, we've got to get a better job up front-wise. We're not protecting it. We're not running the ball very well right now. It was a big play. It should give us a little momentum. We need that right now.
How about the line of scrimmage? I know that's really where you wanted to win the battle.
And we're not doing it right now. We're getting a pretty good licking.
All right, guys, back upstairs to you.
Thank you, Jennifer. That play at the end of the half that really got the Lions back into this thing was basically a Hail Mary, though not out of that typical trips formation.
Yeah, you know, the Bucs could have maybe helped themselves by having one guy here to help redirect the receiver, slow him down. But that's not where the problem is. The problem is the way the ball is played down the field by Damian Robinson. They've got 3 defenders deep. Damian Robinson commits a cardinal sin for DBs. Go up and get the football. Never wait on it. He waited on it. Crowell went up and got it, and that was the difference. That's called giving up 6 points when you don't have to.
And really it was a big swing, too, because Tampa Bay just had missed the field goal after blocking the punt. Detroit got it back. 16 seconds to get something done, and they do. They scored a touchdown, and it drove Tony Dungy about out of his mind.
That's as animated as you'll see Coach Dungy get, or at least as mad as you'll see him get, and I don't blame him one bit. Obviously, the problem for the Lions, but that's the good thing on behalf of the Bucs, because we said that's what they had to go in and stop. The return yards, even though they're huge, they haven't equated to points.
170 return yards for the Lions, but still the Buccaneers, they're making some plays on special teams. Look at this, one deflected punt, the blocked punt, the big punt return. The result, 14 points. They lead by 11.
You can't ask for more out of your special teams. Joe Marciano doing a great job this week of getting his guys in order. We talked about this play here. This set up so much for the offense. It's easy to work when you have that short field. It gives you the confidence, and then this here also does it. The block punts. Clearly a serious protection problem for the Lions up front. And the Bucs are going to take advantage of it, and they're going to keep coming.
And that's something Detroit's going to have to fix, or had better had fixed at halftime.
I don't know if you can fix that in that short a time. That might be permanently broken for a while. At least until next week.
Well, let's look at the quarterback's numbers throughout the first half. Charlie Batch, 14 of 20, 178. 50 of those yards, and that touchdown came on the final play. And Sean King has really thrown some nice balls.
Yeah, but I think that Bobby Ross in the interview with Jennifer there said the right thing, is that you know, we haven't done a good job up front. We haven't done anything, and he's right. They haven't blocked well enough for the run. They haven't blocked well enough to protect the quarterback. They haven't gotten the job done. And the Bucs defensive line, they've gotten the job done again.
So Jason Hansen, who missed a field goal, the first one all year, will tee it up to start the second half. Aaron Stecker deep to receive for the Buccaneers. And Hansen kicks it to Stecker at the 4. And Stecker doesn't even get back up to the 20. Great coverage from the Lions special teams. A 16-yard return.
Another thing that you see in this game that I like, and I know you like, is it's physical. There's a lot of talking going on, a lot of trash talking, a lot of finger pointing, and that's what football is about. And that's what the Bucs knew they were going to come up here and get. And that's what the Lions give when you play them at home. It's always been like that. It'll probably always be like that.
See if Detroit can carry that momentum from the big strike at the end of the first half into this third quarter. 1st and 10 from the 19. Lamar Campbell still in for the injured Terry Fair. Scroggins on Dunn one-on-one, and Dunn shakes him for 5.
You know, and the Lions haven't helped themselves by losing Terry Fair starting right corner. I think that's opened more things up for Sean King.
Well, there it is. All 21 points since Fair left, and King has been lighting it up. 75%. 2nd and 4. King to the air. Connected to Keyshawn Johnson. Another first down, Buccaneers. Westbrook with the tackle.
Now you see, there's something that Keyshawn can do for you as he talks a little trash there to Brian Westbrook. He's a big body guy and he's physical. He can take those shots. And Brian Westbrook is as hard a hitting corner as you're probably going to find out there. He prides himself in that. What did he call himself? The Dick Night Train Lane of the modern era.
Johnson now with 5 grabs for 33 yards as Allstott takes it on first down, but Porcher catches him in the backfield. Allstott blew a tire.
Robert Porcher sitting down in here. Now he's working on Wunsch, and he beat the tight end across his face. Robert Porcher signed that big contract. And one thing you get when you sign the contract, along with a lot of money,
you get a shoe deal.
Is a shoe deal.
2nd and 9. Dunn. Stephen Boyd. Bring up a 3rd and 5 for the Buccaneers.
I think it's clear that the Lions defense now has to put their offense in the position to win this game. You can't take that last Big Ben play there and say that's something the Lions are going to get every time. They haven't gotten it. The defense has to put them back on the field.
King, nowhere to go with it, but he has room to run. Sean King hit at the first down marker. See where they spotted as Ron Rice came up with a pop, but where they're going to mark it, it's a first down for Tampa Bay.
Did you see the hit Sean King took? The guy they know they have to block. First off, Robert Porcher's got 2 guys on him, now 3. Christie comes over. And you see Christie didn't come over there lightly. He came over there throwing bones. And this is just a good shot here. Boy, you like this. Now you know you don't want your quarterback taking too many of those. And Boyd has been bothered with the sprained back. He's sitting this one out.
And Kevin O'Neal checks in for him at the linebacker spot. Play action. Pressure on King again. He throws it outside, and it's dropped by Patrick Hape. Tried to run before he had the football.
They chalk that one up to the coverage down the field. Jaquez Green is running down the seam. They got him locked up. Keyshawn inside. He's going to try to drag across the middle. And he goes right into the backer over there. Actually, that's the safety, Schultz. Whenever you see Sean King have to hold the ball, it's usually what's going on down the field.
2nd and 10. Empty backfield. King back alone in the shotgun. Throws it for Johnson, incomplete. Again, a high toss from Sean King. Claiborne on the coverage. And when King has his problems, he's throwing the ball up the stairs too far.
Yeah, he gets it a little high at times, but I think having a receiver like Keyshawn, you can get lazy with that because he's going to pull so many down. Like he told him in the beginning of the year, back in mini camp and training camp, he said, don't worry about throwing me a bad ball.
Just throw me the darn ball. 3rd and 10.
Look at that.
Wide open Keyshawn Johnson down the sideline. He'll cut it back in. He'll get all the way to the 20-yard line. They lost track of Keyshawn. 38 yards on the hookup.
Great play by Keyshawn, but the play is made by the offensive line. Watch the protection. Luther Ellis, the guy they got to stop. I mean, Randall McDaniel just shuts him down. Pearson shuts down Scroggins. And then Keyshawn goes to work. That's the 7 route, the post corner. He's going to work to the inside and then work back outside. Look at the touch on the throw. And now it's just yards after catch, so yeah. But it all starts with great protection inside.
Johnson now 6 grabs for 71. 1st and 10, Buccaneers at the 20. All stop. Caught from behind by Calvin Pritchett.
You know the advantage of having a guy like Jeff Christie. You talk about his attitude, and you know he's kind of a jokester and he's a fun guy to be around, but he's a gamer and he can run. He brings more athleticism to this team. He can get out in the perimeter. Look, he's out running and getting the block on Claiborne. And the difference is when you don't have a center that can do that, now you've got to try to waste a guard to go get that back. That's one of the ways, another one of the ways the Buccaneers are better inside.
King gets it outside, dropped by Keyshawn. Westbrook came up with a how do you do.
I like the way that Keyshawn has been involved in this game plan this week. And we talked before about getting the first downs, but he's clearly been a guy they're trying to get the ball to.
You want to throw that ball outside,
you don't want to run your man into a headache.
11th play of the drive for Tampa Bay. They've converted on a couple of critical 3rd downs. This one 3rd and 7. King.
What a catch.
Connects with Riddell Anthony. 1st down Bucks.
How about that for pass distribution? Sean King always knows where to go with the football. I think he sees that whole field. I mean, this one is a little high. Woo! How about that for vertical? You see how high he got up?
Anthony got up for that one.
He got up for that bad boy now.
Well, this is all-stock territory. As you look at that pass distribution you talked about, tight ends not having too good of a day, but he's getting it out to everybody.
Man.
To everybody.
Man.
King with pressure. Throws it away.
He let that one fly. Good penetration inside there. Jarrett DeVries got in there. Kind of forced Sean to have to unload it a little bit quicker than he wanted to.
Yeah, he didn't get it to our guy in the end zone that time. Disappointed.
I think our guy in the end zone stopped running. He's had a couple now, so he just kind of sits down.
Oh, he's up and ready to roll now, though. It's 2nd down and goal from the 6. Keyshawn Johnson in motion. King looking for him, throws it out there. He's got him. Westbrook there right away. Gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Keyshawn lost his lid on that one. It's amazing. The Bucks haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver since Mark Carrier in '89. And you look at the way they're throwing the ball around right now. You have to figure that stat's going to disappear soon. Westbrook's spending a little bit too much time with his eyes in the backfield, but I don't blame him for playing off of Keyshawn Johnson. Well, that was a little high. ham bone.
The rotten rice ham bone.
Yeah, a little ham bone to the head.
A decapitator as the Bucks will take a timeout. They're driving. Tampa Bay up 21-10.
He could have done the ham bone dance, give him 2 spoons.
Road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
The Buccaneers have one heck of a drive going. This will be the 14th play. They've gone 78 yards, 6 minutes, 24 seconds. They've done it by converting on 3rd downs. They have another 3rd and 3 from the 3. Lions bring the blitz.
Nothing.
King has to throw it away, but he threw a flag in the direction of Keyshawn. He's got the holding sign up, and it's holding against Detroit. It'll be 1st down and goal for Tampa Bay.
32 defense. How about distance to the goal?
And you know what?
Automatic 1st down.
You know what? Keyshawn will draw holding penalties because he's so tall and has such long arms, and he's so physical. Now, he kind of tosses the DB out of the way there. I don't know where that hold is. I guess when he slapped Westbrook and they didn't call it. That's very Michael Irvin-ish.
I don't know. I don't like it. I don't think that's a good call.
Those are funny, the calls Keyshawn gets sometimes.
That's that magic. As Randall McDaniel goes into the backfield on 1st and goal from the 1. They're going to throw to him again. And knocked away, or he dropped it. Stephen Boyd was there, but they tried it again.
They better be careful. We're going to have to give Randall another number. Give him an 80 number. Oh, well, where do you think they're going to run the ball? Obviously, the Lions are in no shape to cover this.
Stephen Boyd trying to get through the
Boyd
traffic.
gets over there.
That's just a drop.
Randall. I think he was thinking about his end zone dance. This one's going straight ahead.
Straight ahead with Allstott. He's tripped up in the backfield by Rice.
Now, see, I think that's where Tampa Bay hurts themselves. Instead of coming with Allstott on the first 2 plays, they go and try to do the passing. And granted, they did have the touchdown. They had the touchdown. But I think I'm going to try to put Allstott on the ground earlier in the downs. Now, Randall McDaniel is going to go out. And the reason he'll go out is because in the next series, if they don't score,
well, the next play,
yeah, he'll want to come in at guard.
Well, if he has to check out because he was declared an eligible player, and so you can't go back down to an ineligible spot without going out of the game or a stoppage of the clock. King on 3rd and goal, dumps it inside, knocked away by Walker as he tried to hit the tight end. And there is a flag down in the backfield. He was looking for Dave Moore.
Another roughing the passer on the Lions.
Personal foul.
That is killing him.
Roughing the passer. 91 defense.
Poor shake.
Have a distance to the goal. 1st down.
That's twice now the Lions have hurt themselves in this part of the field, and it's I don't know. Where is it?
I don't buy that. I don't buy that one. He does throw the bone, but he throws it up by his chest, and I don't buy that one. That to me is where the game is hurt. You got to let guys play football, and that right there is not letting them play football. He didn't launch. He didn't go right to his head. That's a bad call.
McDaniel back in the backfield again is Allstott.
Now
Allstott up and over, but he's not in the end zone.
Make no mistake, the Lions know that if they want to stay in this game, the future is right now. Mike Allstott decides to go airborne.
Met at the top of the hill.
Tries to cover the sweetness move. That's 240-some pounds going airborne.
2nd and goal. The Lions confused on defense. Have to take a timeout. 17-play drive. We'll cap it off when we come back. This was during the break, and Bobby Ross very upset, and I think it's got to be about the roughing the passer call on Robert Porcher.
It's absolutely about the roughing the passer. I didn't like the call, and apparently I'm not alone.
2nd and goal from the 1. King tries to sneak, he won't get it. Chris Claiborne again comes over the top and stops him.
This is what we talked about in the beginning of the game. The crowd, the noise. This is what it's all about right here for the Lions. If they want to stay in this game, they have to hold Tampa Bay to 3 points right here. And you watch the Lions. Low man will win. They tried twice over the top. Don't be surprised if you see the play action.
18th play of the drive. All stopped. Stopped again. Claiborne, the trifecta.
And now here comes the gut check call for the Buccaneers. This is a statement time. This is what kind of statement do you want to make to the Lions?
Chris Claiborne makes a statement.
Look at that right there.
Bam.
Aldridge was the one that makes the open happen. He gets low. Look what he does to Patrick Haight, who's a great blocker, and now Chris Claiborne comes.
That's great goal line defense, and the Bucs have decided to go for it. 4th and goal from the 1.
They're making a statement. They're saying we're going to put our foot on your throat.
Play action,
wide open.
Touchdown Buccaneers. It's Dave Moore, the tight end, on play action.
Like I said, the Bucs said, we are going to let you know right now that we don't respect you enough to go for 3 points down there. We're not going to give you the satisfaction.
There is a flag down on the play, however.
Substitution, number 64.
Oh, we got him.
5 yards. 4th down.
And Randall McDaniel cannot go from the backfield.
And we just talked about that.
And maybe he didn't report, but somehow he was illegally substituted in that game. And Tony Dungy can't believe it because they're on that all the time. So take that touchdown off the board. Now the Bucs will have to try that field goal.
That's huge. And Tony Dungy is arguing that Randall McDaniel did report as eligible.
That's the field judge, Kevin Mack, that Tony is dealing with right now. But Randall McDaniel was in the backfield. Let's go back to that 3rd down play. And Randall McDaniel was in the backfield. And now Tampa's going to take a timeout.
Okay, that's the 3rd down play. He's in the backfield. He's apparently reported as eligible. That's the drama. Did he report there? Okay, now is 4th down.
But he has to report again every play.
Did he report this 2nd time? If he did, they're wrong. If he didn't and goes out for a pass,
the only thing it
then
could
the
be,
Tampa Bay Buccaneers are wrong.
The only thing it could be is that Randall McDaniel did not report again, or the officials lost track of it.
Or reported to the wrong person. I've seen that happen. Whatever the case, Tony Dungy is arguing vehemently that a report was made.
Well, he burned a timeout just so he could get Jerry Austin over there. See, and he has to report every down. The referee, Jerry Austin, says he didn't report for that 4th down play.
Right, if he's going to line up in the backfield, he has to report with that 64 number. Being a non-eligible number, he has to report that he's in an eligible position every play.
And that's one of the problems of trying to move a guy around like that. And it's a 24-yard field goal attempt now by Martin Gramatica. And he drills it. And the Buccaneers extend their lead to 14, now 24-10 over the Lions. Ray Bentley and Ron Pitts here at the Pontiac Silverdome. Tony Dungy still can't believe it as a touchdown was taken off the board as The officials say that Randall McDaniel did not report his number as being eligible prior to that 4th down play.
And the thing is that Randall in that position with an ineligible number has to report every single down. The officials don't have to announce it every single time. They announce it once, but either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, if the question is, did he report or not report? And they are apparently saying that he never reported that second time.
Well, I played a wingback position on a field goal and extra point team, and that was one of the things that
you had to do.
With an eligible number, you had to report every single time. And what the official do, he'll tell the defense. They don't necessarily have to announce it to the crowd, but they'll tell the defense every time. And apparently, according to the officials, Randall McDaniel didn't do that. So Gramatica kicks it, and Desmond Howard takes it at the 3. Howard up to the 25-yard line, a 24-yard return, and we'll take a break. Tampa Bay ahead of Detroit, 24-10.
Fox NFL Sunday, brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. By DirecTV, never miss a moment. By Gateway, in Gateway Country, people rule. And by the new Midas, we're a whole new way to keep a good thing going. Go Midas.
What was maybe lost in all that excitement about who did he report, did he not, was the Lions' defensive stand inside that 10-yard line, inside the 1-yard line. It was unbelievable. You look at that, 8 plays inside the 10, most of those inside the 1. 1st and 10 from their own 26. Batch, play action. Dumps it outside to Stewart. Stewart hurdles his way for a 1st down.
And you know, Ray, one thing that wasn't lost, though, was the fact that the Buccaneers held the ball, even with all that drama, 9 minutes. And that meant that Charlie Batch and that offense is cold on the sidelines for 9 minutes when they desperately need to be where they are right now on the field.
Well, you can look at it, you're either cold or you're well rested.
You're well rested.
One or the other. We'll find out.
That audible in the past has been quick outs.
8 in the box for the Bucs.
He called it off.
And Lynch backs out. Batch dumps it off to Stewart. And that was a nice little cat and mouse game right there.
Did you see that?
The Bucs won that one.
I don't know if the people at home could hear that. The Bucs checked Tucson, and they went right back to their cover 2. And they're starting off showing them a different look. See, they're showing a 3-deep secondary. Tucson is cover 2 right here. Safety's deep, 5 under. And it put Charlie Batch in the mix. He had no place to go with the football. Monty Kiffin has done a great job of knowing when to call certain things.
2nd and 9, Batch's pass batted away by Jamie Duncan.
Well, that one beat Duncan in the chest.
Yeah, it might have hit him right between the eyes. I think I was generous saying he batted it away. I think it batted him away.
It's one of those where you have to put ice in your chest afterwards. Monty Kiffin there. You know, Monty does his play calling by feel. He has the script in his back pocket.
And it pretty much stays there.
Yeah, it's down there somewhere. I think he's got it folded in 4. Oh, there it is. Right there. That's the play script. He's just calling off the top of his head.
Absorbing it by osmosis here on 3rd and 9. Batch in trouble. Flag is down. Batch is down. Sacked by Warren Sapp.
And when you're making those kind of plays, we'll wait here.
Personal foul. Grabbing the face mask. 78 defense.
Marcus Jones.
15 yards. 1st down.
Big break for the Lions.
Huge break. Getting back to Monty Kiffin, when you're making those kind of calls, you can put the play script back in your pocket. There it is there. And he's got his whole list of things that he wants to call in certain situations. 2nd down, 2nd and long, 2nd and short, 3rd and short, 3rd and long. But the good coordinators hold that bad boy up because they're so in tune with the game and just start calling. And it's a little different, a little easier for defensive coordinators because I think they're in a reactive position. They have to get a feel that it is for offense.
There's fewer options as well. So with the penalty, 1st down and 10, the Lions into Bucs territory to the 48. Stewart tries the middle. Falls forward for 3 yards. Right now, let's go down to the sidelines for a report from Jennifer Hammond. Jennifer?
Brought down by number 99.
All right, guys, we've got an explanation on Randall McDaniel. He had lined up as the fullback in the backfield. The play before, Tony Dungy arguing with the officials that he didn't need to report twice in a row, although the referee said that's not true. Every play that he lines up in the backfield, he has to report again, guys.
Thank you, Jennifer. So he did not report.
Well, that's interesting because that's two different viewpoints on what that rule is.
Herman Moore, very close to the first down right now. We'll go to Los Angeles and JB for a game break.
Ray and Ron, San Francisco playing St. Louis well, but the Rams capped a 9-play, 60-yard drive with that 1 yard by Marshall Faulk, nursing a 1-touchdown lead with 2 left in the third. Ray and Ron. Terry Bradshaw, we asked him to report before each segment as well. He doesn't do it.
You know what? Next time he does that, JB, fine him. And I'll impose the fine from here. That should be $7,500 bigger, don't you think?
Easily. Moore got the first down on that last grab. Herman now with 5 catches for 41.
Look at Rondé Barber.
They come late with the blitz. Batch throws it outside. And that's Stabline, who was knocked out of bounds after a gain of 6 by Brian Kelly.
You know, Brian Kelly will be, the league is gonna make him better than he already is, because when you're doing that blitzing, it forces single coverage on the outside. And that's why they're picking on him. Look at that distance. You got a blitz off the backside, where are you gonna throw the ball? Brian Kelly's gonna learn to come up and take that away.
Don't want to come up too far, they'll run by you. It's a tough situation.
That's kind of the trick out there, you know.
It is. Moore in motion on 2nd and 5. Batch, pump fake. And he is swarmed under. He's sacked again. This time it's Booger McFarland.
Booger McFarland. You know, it's just a wave of white shirts coming up the field. Watch them all here. There's Booger right there. He's just going to keep working. Keeps working, and he's got it.
Picked himself up a sack, did Booger. Third down and 10. Finger pointing, flag flying.
Ball start, 74 offense, still 3rd down.
Atkins.
Yeah, and so the false start is because of the heat he's got in front of him. You know, this defensive line of the Bucs, they run some games, they'll do some stunts, but their meal ticket is vertical pass rush. You talk to Warren Sapp, he said, hey, we want to go up the field, north and south. And, you know, that's the ultimate. That's the equalizer. When you can block somebody going north and south, man to man, then you can play.
3rd and 15 now. Batch flushed out of the pocket. He doesn't make it out of the pocket. Chidi Ahanotu there along with McFarland.
You talk about Sapp, and then Marcus Jones has picked up, and Sapp truly has made everybody better, but Chidi Ahanotu has been there a long time, and his game has gotten very, very good.
They're getting
He's
there with
working
4.
inside. Look at the spin move. That was sweet. That was sweet. You know, the only problem with 380 pounds is when you get it moving the wrong way, which is what Aaron Gibson has, it can hurt you.
Jet with a high hanging kick. Williams nowhere to go. Clint Krewald with the special teams tackle, a 41-yard kick. There is a flag down on the play. It'll be against Detroit. And they'll likely make him kick again.
Kick that. You know, Ray, going back to the defensive line, you look at every Super Bowl
Number
winner.
38 of the kicking team was out of bounds on his own. That's 5 yards decline. First down, Tampa Bay.
Wow, the Bucs will take it at their own 15 rather than have Detroit kick again. And they have the lead by 14. That last Buccaneers drive was 19 plays. Here's 7 of them. It was the goal line defense for the Lions that held tough. There's a King pass that was thrown away. Here's Keyshawn catching it, but Westbrook stops him short of the goal line. And now here comes Allstott trying to find his way. King throws the ball again. Now that was the penalty on Porcher. So it's 1st and goal. Allstott tries it once. Claiborne meets him midair. He'll try it again. Claiborne again. And in that final play, that pass that was called back, the touchdown pass to Moore, called back because Randall McDaniel didn't report. Lions held for a field goal. King hands it to Dunn, and he is stopped by Bryant Westbrook. Short gain on the play, should be the final play of the 3rd quarter. And that is, in fact, the end of the 3rd quarter. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers over Detroit, 24-10. We'll have the 4th quarter coming at you in a moment. Emmy Award winner David E. Kelly, the creator of The Practice, and Ally McBeal, brings you his newest series, Boston Public. Check it out. It comes at you on October 23rd, right here on Fox.
The guy's in the wrong stadium.
Relaxing here as the 4th quarter gets underway. 2nd down and 9 from their own 16 come the Buccaneers. 2 tight ends draw a play to Warrick Dunn. Dunn squirts his way close to the 1st down.
You know where the Bucs have been very good, in general have been very good, is 2nd down. They come with 2nd and long situations, and they always get a nice chunk. Offenses talk about getting certain chunks of yardage. They get nice chunks and end up with a 3rd and short. And it starts with how you handle the 2 guys inside. You see Christie there. They start with the double team on Jones, and then he sloughs off to get somebody else. All it does is add more yards down the field.
Randall McDaniel in the backfield. Did he report? I'm sure he did this time. 3rd and 1. Allstott hit in the backfield. And the Lions defense behind James Jones hold.
And I think James Jones or Luther Ellis reported to Randall.
Yeah.
Wow. Woo, yeah, he's giving him a little love tap there. Watch the penetration inside.
That's Pritchett.
Boom. Pritchett, and then Luther makes the hit. Penetration shut the play down. Randall never got a chance to get his feet going.
So the Bucs forced a punt. Now they have a player running out late.
This is big for
That
Detroit.
could be a problem. As Desmond Howard back to receive at his own 34-yard line. The Royals punt is a high kick.
Nice.
Howard with the fair catch, and he makes that fair catch at the 37, but there is a flag down after the 42-yard punt.
You have to see.
During the kick, tripping on the receiving team. 10 yards, 1st
It's
down.
going to be a 1st down.
Was it a post kick? I think it was.
He said during the kick. I think it was post kick.
Right, so it'll be the Lions football, but rather at the 37, they'll now go from the 27.
That occurs before, then the
Bucs
Buccaneers would have
down.
had that 1st down. And when he said during the kick, he meant after the ball was kicked.
So we'll take a break as the Lions will take over at their own 27. They trail Tampa Bay by 14.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, makers of the 2001 Montero. Wake up and drive. By Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be. By Juno Online Services, join the millions. And by Norelco for an unexpectedly close shave guaranteed. Put it to the test.
Detroit Lions trying to refuse to lose. We've got some more games coming up here on this Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. Stay tuned. Many of you will see some excellent games. In fact, coming up next, the second part of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. Minnesota taking Dante Culpepper and company into New England to take on the Patriots. The other games you saw as Detroit goes 1st and 10 from the 27. Batch to the air, had to pull it down. Now he gets it back out to Jermaine Crowell for a gain of 8 on the play. Abraham with the coverage and the tackle.
Nice shot there by Charlie Batch and Crowell. But the thing that's hurt the Lions today is that they never got that run game kicked off like we talked about in the open. We said they were going to have to do it often and early, and they started it, but then they got away from it. And a large reason they got away from it was because the Bucs defense made them get away from it. They slammed it.
They got behind as well. Detroit just with 9 rushes for 30 yards on the day. They will put it on the ground, and James Stewart gets lit up by a blitzing Derek Brooks.
Derek Brooks is invaluable in this team. Not only what he can do from a speed standpoint, but he also has enough about him to go make plays. Backside. That is a classic picture, wow. Ray, of floating backside. You even had to say wow to that.
I mean, that's how you get up in there. I mean, you get a little seam and you shoot it. I said he was blitzing. He wasn't. He was just playing football.
No, he just got a quick read and made a play. And when you have that kind of speed, and the thing I like about Brooks, he's got that nasty attitude on the field that you have to win.
3rd down and 3. Looks like the Lions moved early.
Ball start, 72, offense, 5 yards, 3rd down.
Ray Roberts and Bobby Ross just shakes his head as the Lions commit their 8th penalty of the day.
We were talking earlier about that running attempt by the Lions. That ends up being about a little over a yard a carry.
Not very good.
That ain't going to cut it.
Third and 8 now after the penalty. Batch from the shotgun. He has time this time, finds David Sloan. Sloan with the 1st down.
You know, all they're doing is finding the open hole in this 5 underneath coverage. And that's why you see the catch made and a fall down, because the fit is that tight. And that's up to Sloan. Sloan has done a good job of finding the area. Now he's got to try to work free. You start off with the protection. You see Ray Roberts helping out there on Warren Sapp. You see that right hand? That right hand just enough to try to slow Sapp down and buy some extra time.
Play action looking for Sloan again. He didn't even go for the football.
Whoa.
Now it's intercepted, and here comes Lynch. David Sloan didn't even go for the ball, and Lynch takes it and returns it 36 yards.
That didn't look good. That did not look good.
You can see it all.
It's hard to see how high the ball was from this angle, but he might have got a little alligator on him.
You got to play defense.
Charlie Batch kind of let that ball go a little late, but Sloan, the tight end,
he doesn't even look at the ball.
He kind of cringes early on that one.
So the Buccaneers on the turnover, you hear footsteps as the flag is down, his work done. Gets 4 yards on his footsteps. Chris Claiborne makes the tackle. Let's go back to that. We'll see what the penalty is first.
Offside, defense, 50, 5 yards. It's still 1st down.
Let's go back to the interception by John Lynch again and tell us what happened.
We talked about this ball being late. This is a seam throw. The tight end is going to come up the seam and cover 2. Ball's got to be thrown right about now, and it's got to be thrown on a line. Bullet throw right now. You've seen Brett Favre make that throw many times in the day. It's thrown too late. You see everybody has a chance to converge on the ball. That's no excuse for Sloan not going up and making an effort to get it. But the ball's got to come out quickly.
Work done. Takes it outside where he runs into some Lions tacklers. Right now we'll go out to Los Angeles in a game break. Here's JB.
Ray and Ron, St. Louis only 65 yards on the ground because of the outstanding play of guys like Junior Bryant, number 90 in white. But watch Junior Bryant here going for the tackle, hits his head on the turf, lay there motionless for a while, wheeled off the field. Pam Oliver says in the locker room that he has shown movement, is conscious, and he did wave. Full extent of the injuries not determined as of yet. Let's take it back to Ray and Ron.
That's always a scary sight, one they've seen too often here in Detroit. 2nd and 5 for Tampa Bay. King looking to finish off the Lions, and he connects for a first down to Keyshawn Johnson. Another first down for Johnson, who has 8 catches now on the day.
Yeah, it's amazing. A guy can come inside like that. And most receivers, when they catch that ball inside, they're looking for a place to lay down and take a nap. Not Keyshawn. Just going to do a little turn-in route. Cue in, he reads zone. Now pivot back out to the open spot. Now here's the difference. He doesn't go down. In fact, he uses a free arm to sugar the defender off.
Sugared
You
Schultz.
like that? He sugared him off.
Some sugar Schultz. That was a nice deal. It's not so sweet when you're playing defense, though.
Not so sweet when you got to see that on Monday morning.
All stop.
This isn't sweet either if you're a line.
Gashes up the middle for 8 yards. Poor Shea drags him down along the shelves.
I think the Bucs offense can be proud of themselves today because they came out, and even with the help they had on special teams, they established themselves as an offense. They didn't have the great defensive help, but they took the ball, they had drives, they ate up the clock, they went down the field, and they used everybody. That's what's been so impressive about Sean King.
Mike Allstott, 18 carries, 59 yards, a touchdown, and you expect them to pound him at Detroit, and they do pound, but Kurt Schultz comes up with another tackle.
A lot of talk about what was Les Steckel, the offensive coordinator, new offensive coordinator, going to bring from Tennessee. Well, I think a lot of it remains to be seen because the Bucs have shown, and Les getting a stretch on, you can relax a little bit when you're up 24-10 and you're heading into red zone. I think the Bucs are a lot of what they were last year, but the one thing that is very good to see is the way they've spread the ball around.
3rd down and 3. The Buccaneers 8 of 13 on the day in 3rd down conversions. Toss it to Warwick Dunn. He's got a lot of room outside, but he, well, with second effort, he shook Bryant Westbrook and got the first down.
People think I'm crazy when I say that Warwick Dunn is just as hard to tackle in open field as Barry Sanders. You don't believe me? Ask Bryant Westbrook.
This is a great open field move.
I mean, he just about faked him out of his mouthpiece here.
He threw about 4 moves on him.
See, that's what Warwick can do. You know, he's one of those guys that you think he's a little guy, and he may be upper body, but lower body, he's pretty solid.
Yeah, you know what he does?
He's got a lot of power.
He makes moves until you commit, and then he's still got the quickness to get by you. First and goal from the 10, Allstott. Picks his way inside the 5 down to the 4-yard line. Ron Rice in on the stop along with Westbrook.
You know, one of the things that Warwick Dunn did in the offseason, you know, because he was pretty disappointed in the year he had last year with the injuries and never really being able to get in sync, is that he went back and he looked at all his Florida State film, and he looked to see how he was running. You know, just some of the nuances, some of the things he was doing just to get a feel back. And I think he got the feel back there on that one play.
Run!
Dunn in the backfield behind Allstott. Allstott tries the middle. Very close to the touchdown. Tried to get the ball over, but the knee was down. They'll mark him at the 1.
This is where I say that Tampa Bay gets into their army mode. You know, they start to pound you and to wear you down. They actually started in the beginning of the game running the football with Allstott. You know, you get a dose of Allstott, and then they hit you with a barrage of Warwick and quickness and speed on the outside. And now comes some of Keyshawn Johnson. You throw a tight end mix in there. They just have a complete arsenal to attack people with.
Another long drive for the Buccaneers.
And ground control. Hold
long
the
in
ball,
terms of time.
Hold the ball, run the clock. And if you're behind, that's depth. Detroit has done nothing but sit on the bench the entire game.
The Buccaneers use their final timeout. They're knocking on the door with a 14-point lead with 5:43 left. Warren Sapp, he's got the napkin up under the chin. He's ready for dessert.
Well, they've done a pretty good job of eating up the Lions' offensive line. No doubt about that.
Stephen Boyd taken out of the game. He hurt his back last week when Trey Johnson of the Redskins fell on it, and he's over there getting attention now as the Lions blitz on 3rd and 1. A huge hole, and Warwick Dunn gets the touchdown.
I think that's
Warwick Dunn's first touchdown in quite a while. He didn't have any last year.
First rushing touchdown there.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's nice for him. He likes to.
It's also the Bucs'
get that.
7th touchdown rushing this year in 3 games. They only had 7 all of last year, all by that man, Mike Allstott. Look at that 371 carry drought. It's over. And Gramatica adds the extra point, and this one's all but over as the Buccaneers extend their lead to 31-10 over the Detroit Lions with 5 minutes and 39 seconds left. Warwick Dunn opens the floodgates. Ray Bentley along with Ron Pitts, the Pontiac Silverdome, where Warwick Dunn has put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers up 31-10. And Tony Dungy had questions about, is my team ready to take the next step, go into a hostile environment, win on the road? They kind of proved that here today.
They answered all those questions, and they know they got a tough road coming up, especially with the Jets at home, and everybody's going to be looking forward to that one for obvious reasons. But this was the one they had to get to prove to themselves a lot of things.
Desmond Howard with a 25-yard return, but Minnesota's Dante Culpepper, faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Coming up next, Minnesota bringing Superman and company to New England. And I'll tell you what, Dante Culpepper has been super in his first 2 games as the screen pass goes to James Stewart. Stewart out of bounds after a gain of 5. And what about Dante Culpepper? Is he the real deal?
Well, first of all, he's like a nose tackle playing quarterback. That's why he's my Superman. And the ability to be able to run like that out of the pocket, usually guys that big can only take so many steps. Well, in preseason, I saw him run away from Junior Seau and put a nice stiff arm on Rodney Harrison. That just doesn't happen. Well, and he's got a nice arm.
Stay tuned, because that game's coming up next as Jermaine Crowell makes a nice catch, moves the chains as the Lions get it up to the 44-yard line, gain of 14.
Talking earlier about that Tampa Bay schedule, you know, how this one was so important. They have the New York Jets coming up. Of course, that'll be a big media frenzy with Keyshawn Johnson down there and everything. And then they got to go to Washington and Minnesota. Very well.
Warren Sapp sacks Charlie Batch again. Now 2 sacks on the day for Sapp.
Look at that. Look at that. Warren Sapp had the crab crawl going there. Wow. He's always got something after a sack. It's either a dance or a look or something.
Lions take a timeout, and we'll go to a game break right now. Here's JB in Los Angeles.
Ray and Ron, San Francisco playing St. Louis extremely well. Take a look at Jeff Garcia. Play action, rolling, hitting Terrell Owens on a crossing pattern. It is 27-24, St. Louis. Junior Bryant injured in make that the San Francisco game, but he does have movement. We'll keep you updated. Ray and Ron.
Thank you, JB. Good to hear that about Junior Bryant.
You know, it's one thing what Warren Sapp can do to get to the quarterback, but I like what he does after he gets to the quarterback. Check him out.
That's unbridled enthusiasm for the game of football. Second and 16, Batch. Pressured again, dumps it outside. A one-handed grab by Morton, who breaks a tackle and now loses the football. And it's recovered by the Buccaneers. It's like Shelton Quarles who came up with the football.
You know, that pretty much wraps up the day for the Lions. That says it all.
That says it all.
Got something good going, but then somehow squander it away.
Yeah, the defensive line from Tampa Bay has been outstanding today. 5 sacks. Sapp has 2.
And you know,
look at the other numbers.
We said in the open, the defenses that want to be dominant, and this Bucs defense, they think they're dominant and definitely want to be like that. Those defenses stop the run, and that's exactly what they did today. And you look at all the Super Bowl winners, or most of them, they have great defensive lines. You have to be able to hit the opponent's quarterback early and often. And
we showed it earlier, and the Lions with 10 carries, 13 yards on the ground. Aaron Stecker checks into the ball game, and he is wrapped up by Alan Aldridge behind the line. We have a report that Aaron Gibson has been knocked out of this game with a concussion. Won't return.
I got to throw a coach question out to you, Ray. You're the head coach of the Arena League Buffalo Destroyers. You gave yourself a game ball and all that good stuff. I can get that in.
Well deserved.
If you're the Detroit Lions, what do you do to help your offense get the ball in the end zone? I mean, this is 3 games now.
You know, it's really a matter of execution. I mean, you look at the problems that they have down there. They've been hurting themselves more than anything. So I think you go back to your basics and you set up your game plan and you just continue to work on it, work on it, work on it. And then I think you have to add some wrinkles too. You got to have some kind of special thing down there, whether it's a reverse or a toss pass, something to start the fire. Because once I think it gets started, they're going to be all right. But you have to do something to get that thing going.
And you know, the biggest fire starter that the Lions have had here for a lot of years, of course, isn't here anymore, and that's Barry Sanders in that run game.
Well, the other guy that's been real effective for him over the years down there is Herman Moore. And Herman
he's
Moore,
he's
been all right today. He's got 5 grabs for 41 yards, but not really in the red zone. They haven't thrown it up to him.
But we said on film, it's not the same Herman. And we know he had the injuries, did both knees last year, struggled with that. And they've kind of, somewhere in between injuries and they're kind of switching his role around. Whatever the deal, he's not the same guy.
On 3rd and 15, Stecker gets half of it back as Ron Rice rides him down, but the Bucs will have to punt. Detroit will get another chance with the ball, but it's pretty much a moot point at this point. Yeah, you talked about this earlier on the upcoming schedule for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you got to figure that the Bucs are one of the NFL's elite, starting 3-0 in NFC Championship game last year, 5 points away, 6 points away from the Super Bowl, and that should be a nice one against the Jets next week at home. With all the Keyshawn questions and things that'll happen.
Tony Dungy says, I like to take the season in quarters. We go 4 quarters. And we just want to make sure we leave here in Detroit 3-0 on our way to 4-0 for these first 4 games.
Offense, 5 yards, 4th down.
Because when you start good, unlike what most people think, when you start good, you tend to stay good. And this graphic right here shows it.
80% of the teams that start 3-0 end up in the playoffs in the hunt for that Super Bowl. And that's in the 90s.
When you look at this team defensively, they've got everything in place. You know, Tony talks about that 5-year plan it takes to really get everybody on the same page and playing well together. They've got that on defense. In fact, it's heaven for them on defense right now.
Short kick, and Desmond Howard has plenty of room to run before he goes out of bounds, and that'll bring us down to the 2-minute warning here in Pontiac, Michigan, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a 31-10 lead over Detroit. So we'll take that break right now, and we'll be back. Lions trailing the Bucs by 21. Mike Alstott and his Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a nice day here in Detroit. 31-10. They lead with 2 minutes left in the ball game. That Bucs defense, Ron, you talked about them throughout the day, and what an outstanding unit they are, and they're homegrown.
That's right. All of them have been brought in for the most part by Tony Dungy and hand-groomed, and at least all of his starters are guys they've hand-picked. Really haven't even played a full season anywhere else.
Brock Alibo with the catch. He'll get the first down up past midfield. Derek Brooks gets him down as the Lions will go into the hurry-up mode, trying to salvage something at the end of this ball game.
And Warren Sapp and maybe a couple other guys as starters aren't on the field, but of their 11 starters, not one of them has played a full season with another team. They've all been right here are right there with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's called continuity, and that's one reason that they're playing such dominating football. They've been around the system now for 4 or 5 years, and that is a tough combination to beat. You don't see that very often in free agency.
Al Capuno made that last catch, his first catch as a Lion. Batch dumps it, knocked down. Tyoka Jackson batted that one away. Today's game is being produced by Pete Macheska and directed by Michael Frank. The associate director is Barry Landis. The broadcast associate is Eric Billigmeyer. The technical producer is Dan Rotante. The studio was produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The associate director was Jennifer Love. The senior producer is Bill Brown. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorn and David Hill.
5 yards, repeat, second down.
And a special thanks to our stats guy Rudy Cleveter and our spotter Mark Barrow, back from his holdout.
Mark had to get more money.
One more reminder for you, stick around. We have game 2 of our doubleheader coming up. Big game, Minnesota taking on New England. Minnesota wants to keep pace with the Buccaneers in the Central Division. Batch throws it behind Johnny Morton, incomplete. Let's take a look at those NFC Central Division standings. After today's action, you're going to see Tampa Bay up there 3-0. Minnesota will play next. We'll have that. And then Detroit falls to 2-1. We'll see Chicago and Green Bay struggling. They'll play later.
You know what's going to be a good one for Tampa Bay is when they go up to Minnesota. Minnesota has a knack, no matter what the season is and how they've started, of being very good against a team that's supposed to be very good when they've got them at home.
Actually, Chicago's playing New York right now, and Green Bay is playing Philadelphia. The score there is 3-3 as Crowell makes a grab. And it's early in the year, but I think it's time for the Buccaneer fans to get a little excitement.
Oh, yeah, well,
I mean, they've had a lot of excitement. They've been excited since last year, but this is starting to look like a serious contender.
Well, that guy right there is always excited. He's always got a smile on his face, and he pays dividends off the field as much as he does on the field. And he told me before the game, you know, I don't care about the numbers. I could care less. The bottom line is I get that W, and with the W comes the rings, and I'll be very happy.
Well, he's had a nice day today. You talked about getting him involved a little bit more. 8 grabs, 84 yards. That's his biggest day as a Buccaneer, at least in numbers of catches.
You know, you talked about the Buccaneers fans getting excited. They get excited about Monty Kiffin. He said he goes to jog with his Tampa Bay stuff on. They honk. He said, man, I like that.
Yeah, he said he set out to do 1 mile. He gets the cheers. He's going to run 2 miles.
He ends up running 3 miles.
Gets excited. Meanwhile, I think he tried another bad throw from Charlie Batch.
He can get up and run.
Donnie Abraham, his 3rd pick of the year, and he's still alive. Now he's wrapped under, but Donnie Abraham had 2 grabs last week, a 3rd here today.
You know, that closes out Charlie Batch. Charlie Batch was gradually getting better and better as far as health, but I don't think he could say to anybody he was 100%. He was just ready to go, signed a big deal and everything, but health-wise, timing-wise, he admitted it last week. I just had some things that were on me. I just didn't set my feet on some throws, and I just didn't see some of the things I should have seen. Boy, it's easy to play when you're winning. You know, the hard part is when you look around this stadium and the seats are empty. But the seats will be full down in Tampa Bay next weekend. That's for sure.
When the Jets come to town. Eric Zier comes in, takes the knee, and that wraps it up pretty much here from the Silverdome as Tampa Bay answered those questions they needed answers to, and they come away with a 31-10 win.
And they do take a huge step. Like I say, they come up here against a team they haven't played well against, and they answer. And Sean King once again showed tremendous poise for a young quarterback. Took care of business, and he ran the offense. This offense showed up and made some things happen.
And again, the Buccaneers defense outstanding today as they continue to put the pressure on opposing quarterbacks. 5 sacks on the day for that Buccaneer defense led by Warren Sapp, as he had a couple of them himself. So this is Ray Bentley for Ron Pitts saying so long from the Pontiac Silverdome, where the final score is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31, the Detroit Lions 10. And we will have our Visa Game Break show coming up next, followed by the second game of our NFL doubleheader. So stick around. We'll have that Visa Game Break show in a moment. And then stay tuned. There's more football coming at you here on Fox. So long, everybody.